Proof of work. Fhash, etc hash, MTP, octopus, compound, autoecus, equihash, SHA-2, 56, megahash, 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 proof of work, fhash, etc hash, MTP, octopus, compound, autoecus, equihash, SHA-2, 56. Proof of work.
All right.
Alrighty. Hello, hello. What's going on, people?
What's up? That was the longest countdown ever, man.
No, it's so last minute. I'm so sorry. Oh my word. My as I shot you a message, my daughter was holding up production. I put my son to bed, and then my daughter was giving my wife a hard time. So had to step in there and get her to sleep. And she, of course, you're sitting there watching the time, like, oh, what time is it? How much time do I have? Oh God, it's like 10 minutes out. What am I gonna do? So I appreciate your patience very much so.
Yeah, all good. Hey, what's up, everybody in chat? Just give a thumbs up if audio and video is okay. You can hear me, you can hear Hobbyist. Really appreciate that as we get started here. Thanks everybody for hanging out for a few extra minutes.
Yes, very much so. So what's new with you, man? How are things been going?
Good. Today was a little bit of a whirlwind because I really wanted to get some of my GPUs that have been sitting around mining.
Yeah, I saw your video. I was like, oh my gosh, look at all this.
So I went ahead with my plan, and I have a picture actually I'll show in a few minutes, but I went ahead of my plan, and I took my 6x3060 Ti rig.
Okay.
And I decided, because that's on a 13 GPU motherboard, the ASRock one, and I decided I'm just going to add GPUs to that existing build. And so I had four 3070s and I had two 3080s, and I got an extra Veta frame. Let's just add them on, get a server PSU going in there, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
And I build the whole thing, and what wound up, and so this 13070 is not getting recognized.
Okay.
And I'm like, come on. And the fans are spinning. And I'm like, I reseat everything. I try different riser, try different cable, make sure all my power connections are good, try a different splitter. Like it's still like it's lighting up, the fans are spinning, but not being recognized at all in Windows.
Bummer. So
I'm like, all right, here we go. It couldn't be this easy. It couldn't be this thing that I was just going to knock out in like a half hour. So the kind of the telltale sign, and I don't know if you or anybody else has run into this, is after the computer's up for a little bit, the fans will, if you're not mining, the fans on the rest of the cards will stop spinning. They'll just go idle.
Correct.
And the telltale sign for the GPU that's not working right is those fans just keep going. And so I was like, all right, it's this Asus Dual that I got. It's non-LHR, got it open box from Newegg. And long story short, it's DOA. It doesn't work. It's bad. So I'm like super bummed. Cause I'm there, I'm just not gonna be able to get another one of those. It's in return policy. But I chatted them. They're gonna try to get me another one, but I know that that's like an impossible task as is. So yeah. And then so I was like, all right, I guess I'll just swap that out, throw a 3090 that I had sitting around in there. I was racing around right before the stream, same as you, trying to get that done because I had everything out of the tent. I had one whole side of the tent out so I can stack these. So like 3/4 of my farm was offline, and that just drives me insane. So I get everything set up, but the problem is I'm using like a 120 gig SSD. So the virtual memory, I can't set a virtual memory high enough for all those cards in there. So I got so close, and it just crashes because it doesn't have enough virtual memory to build a DAG. And so I'm just like, damn it. So now I'm just going to probably either mine with some of the cards until tomorrow, or after this, I'll go down and either swap it out for a 240 gig drive or throw it on Hive. Like everybody is going to tell me that I should. Throw it on HiveOS, which won't have a problem.
Throw it on Hive, when in doubt.
Oh man, I'm just everybody gives me a hard time about Windows, but I love the pain of it all. So yeah, man. So that was today, just trying to get that accomplished because I'm just sick of looking at those cards sitting around. And then of course, like always, you run into a snag, burn more time than you wanted to. But here we are. What about you, man? What's been going on with you?
So I just got back. I was away with the family this weekend and got back this afternoon. Thankfully, all the rigs were up and running when I got home, gone for a few days. I kept an eye on it remotely, but so I got in 2 cards. I got in a 3060 Ti, which was a Newegg Shuffle win. So I'm excited to get my hands on that. I really don't buy any of the 3000 series cards unless it's through like a Newegg Shuffle. Like I'm not actively going out and doing it, and I play the Shuffle every day, and that worked out well. So I'll have a video on that coming out. But I also have been slowly building out my XFX RX 580 8 gig rig, and I got another one in when I got home. So I had 2 GPUs waiting for me, which is always, it's like
Can't
Christmas,
beat that.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just gonna throw it in my rig. So throw it in my rig that I have now. It's a RevTech board. So I have 5 RX 580s in there now. I got a 6th one. I got 2 more slots available. One of them is actually a 590 Fat Boy, and threw it in there, and it just like kept crashing the entire thing. Like I couldn't, as soon as I put it in and powered it up, like nothing would mine. It didn't do it. So I was like, okay, let me like rule everything out. Let me throw this in my test bench. So I threw it in my test bench, and my test bench, like I don't even have a riser in it. It's just a motherboard with a power supply. And so you're plugging right in. So you're eliminating PCI cables, USB cables, risers, everything. So I threw it in and it worked great. So I was like, of course it did. So while it was in there, I tested a little bit. I went ahead and edited the BIOS in it with Polaris one-click BIOS editor, pumped it up a little bit. So I threw it back into the rig, and it still didn't work. And I'm like, it just worked in my test rig. It doesn't work in here. So finally, I decided just to clear all overclock settings. So I cleared all the overclock settings across the board on all the GPUs, and then I went through and re-overclocked everything, which sucks because it's like, I got to do it all over again on a card level. But now we're back up and running and good to go, and I'm happy about that. I'll be very thrilled to finally get 2 more of these over the next. And I've been picky. I've been kind of shopping it around, not spending too much money, but I'm a completist here. I want 8 580. I want 8 580s in here, ready to go. You know.
Dude,
and then literally just before we went live, I updated my one R9 380 rig, and now it won't come back online. And I'm like, mother effer.
Right.
I'm like,
those GPUs are too old anyway. You got to go outside, dig a hole, and bury them in it.
they just sit around. They just sit around and mine Ethereum Classic all day long. Like Ethereum Classic. Man. This is my ETC rig. I love it.
What is their profitability over your electric, like per GPU?
Let's take a look here. So fancy you ask here. Let's take a look. So all right, we're gonna do 6 of those.
Are they even on the default what to mine?
Oh,
site?
absolutely.
Oh my god, they're hanging on. They're just hanging on there.
They are. So they do about 20 each.
How many do you have?
I have 6, so we're about 120. Now, actually, what I'll do, let me go here real quick. Let's see here. I am going to do this off screen. I have a spreadsheet. Let's see what they were doing in July.
All right.
Actually, yeah, let's look at that. So hang on here. Let's take a look. I'm bringing it up now. Hang with me here. Okay. So I'm bringing it up slowly. Okay. So I'm going to bring this up here. Let's go. I'll zoom in. So we have a July profit breakdown here on that rig. That was 118.6. Why can't I zoom in on this? Come on, Willis, work with me. There we go. All right, that was doing 118.6. So it was making electricity cost per day was $1.43. So per year, that was making me $1,400. $1,400 bucks off of that little rig. hey, it doesn't cost much. Let's see here. Let me look over here. Yeah, it uses 815 watts, and it is just looking through here.
Which models do you have?
The 380, and I have 2 380Xs in there as well.
What are they? Sapphire? What are they?
Power Color, Gigabyte, XFX, Asus. So a little bit of everything.
I just want to see this thing.
Oh, come on, man. So much hate here. So much hate here. Yeah, if I go and take a look, I do have a video out there on this rig that I built. And it's funny because there's so many of these out there. Like, you know, they're older. And if you could get your hands, what I tell people is like, if you could get your hands on these for a good price, then you're kind of set and good to go. But if you're and I'm running an HP motherboard on these. I got 2, PCI 1 to 4 splitters in them. Like, we're just kind of, it's just we built that rig as cheap as possible.
Oh man, I'm looking at its specs. So its TDP is 190 watts.
Yep.
What is it? How much RAM does this thing have in it?
4. We're all 4 gigs.
Oh yeah, 4 gigs. Yep. GDDR5.
Yep.
Woo! It's an ugly looking card. This Power Color. I don't know if it's the PCS plus. Yeah. That's it. I have it on my screen. There it is. That red looking one.
That is a Power Color. Yeah, man. I had to do all new thermal paste and all new pads on these because they were because these are bazillion years old.
Yeah.
And they got so hot, and so I definitely had to go through and do all that on these cards and stuff. But this rig, I will say, is the most consistent out of all my rigs. You put it up and it's good, except for when I update Hive and then it just crashes on me. Now I got to go back through, and most likely I have to downgrade Hive. Most likely that's the case, which is painful.
You just you got a comment in my chat. It says looks like something a caveman mined with.
Whoa! All right, listen, not everybody's got the money like my man Red Fox Crypto over here to be buying these 3 gig car or 3000 series car. Now, granted, I say that. Now, yeah, I was lucky. I got myself a 3060 over here. Yeah. So we're getting there a little bit at a time. Oh,
that's funny.
So that's really been what's new with me. This week I'm kind of catching up on things. I'll be doing a 3060 Ti video, a video on the 580s that I have there. So yeah, it'll be a fun week. I still have to record a video after this live stream, so just putting that out there.
Whew, so no 2-hour live stream tonight.
No 2-hour. We'll stick to about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got to do the video for that, and I'm a one-man band. I'm gonna record, I'm gonna edit, I'm gonna create my thumbnail, and get it all done before 1 a.m. and then go to bed.
Oh man.
So outside of that, I thought it would be fun tonight to discuss kind of life as a crypto miner.
Yeah.
And I think I think we'll put in parentheses after that, like crypto miner content creator, because I think it's kind of all encompassing there. So I thought it'd be interesting for us to each just go over kind of what does our day-to-day look like when it comes down to crypto mining, when it comes down to content creation, just kind of give our audience kind of that kind of rundown. So I will throw it over to you first.
Sure. Yeah, I figure we'll do that, and then maybe we'll give some time for questions and chat stuff at the end. So I know that's hard. It's really hard. We both acknowledge that's hard to balance when we do the joint live stream. So, but do appreciate everybody being here in the chat. Big time. Thanks guys for coming out. Yeah, we'll do some questions and stuff at the end. But yeah, I think it's a good topic, the life of a crypto miner, and yeah, to add that extra on top of it to be a content creator. And I'll say, like, even just tonight, when I was putting together, adding those cards onto that rig.
Yeah.
And this is what's been, if you guys saw that video that I put up and you see all those GPUs laying around, I mean, part of it is like, okay, I get a video going. I strive to do right now in August, I do 3 videos a week and a live stream. So I'm like, I have to do a video, which means that I can't get those GPUs going. And then even tonight, I was like, I need to get a video going, which I didn't, but I was like, am I going to film a video of me adding these GPUs to this rig? Or like, is that even worthy? Or
people love to see it. But
I'm like, I just need to get these things going, because it'll just be another not procrastination, but another thing. All right, let me get the camera set up. What am I going to talk about? Let me edit, I don't have to edit it. I make music for, if you guys don't know this, every single video is a different song that I make for that video, because I'm a nut job. So I was like, screw it. You know what? I'm just going to hang out down here like the old days and just build a rig. And good thing I didn't film it, because I ran into that snag and I would have been like pulling my hair out trying to do both. But I think that's like the extra layer of complexity this time around is not only, would I come home from work and maybe a GPU came in that day, or, a new miner came out and I want to test it, or, test some algorithms or something like that. But now it's I want to film it all and get it all out there, because I just want to teach everybody. And if I'm doing something that can help somebody else out in this world, then it's worth it for me. So for me, it's been like 3 days a week. I will work. I will come home. I will say good night to Mrs. Red Fox and Red Fox Jr. And then I will just go into the basement and film a video and
live in your basement.
Yeah. And then what I feel like I've gotten kind of good at is I'll film it and I'll be able to get it edited and make a song for it and get it scheduled for the next morning to release. Where in the past it's been filmed and then I edit it over a couple days on lunch break and after work. And it just was a longer process. So now I feel like I got it down to a little bit of a science, as long as I have something that I know I want to film. If sometimes I don't know about you, but even just everything's been good lately with the LHR stuff and B miner stuff. There's just been a lot of content to create and GPUs and stuff coming in and doing rig builds. But even maybe a month or two ago, I was hitting a little bit of a spell and I was just like, I don't know what to make a video on.
Okay.
And then I just want everything to be as quality as possible. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And so I had 2 weddings back to back the last 2 days.
Oh man.
And typically what I like to do is get a video up and then just live in the comment section and reply to everyone and get some dialogue going and be in my Discord. And I just couldn't do it. So I'm feel like a little backed up, not only on the content creation part, but I feel backed up and still needed to get GPUs running. So, man, the life of a crypto miner and crypto mining content creator is a lot. It's two full-time jobs. There's no two ways about
100%,
it.
100%.
But I'll pass it over to you. I also think that now is the best time, right? If Ethereum goes down to $1,000 or $800, fact is it's not going to be a lot of attention on me and on you. We'll still be there, but now is a really great time to just get the content out there because so many people want to see it and digest it and use it. So that's why it feels, I don't know if the grind is the right word, but it has kind of a bad connotation around it, but it is very much like it's go time. Like this is the time to take advantage of. So that's everything on my brain. What about you, Hobbyist? What about you?
No, you're absolutely right. I am in a position where I work from home. So the nice thing is that does help me out. So I will get up 8 o'clock, grab that cup of coffee. By the time I get down to the computer, start working, it's about 9 o'clock. And I will really crunch for work for my day job until about noon. So I put in 4 super productive hours. And then the rest of the afternoon, I'm kind of spacing things out with kind of what I have going on with work, with meetings and stuff. Usually I do my meetings in the afternoon, but I kind of do some content related stuff between meetings here and there, just little stuff or project with my basement, with renovating my basement. That if I could squeeze in this or squeeze in that here and there, then it works out really nicely for me with renovating the basement. Spend the time with the kids, taking them to all different events, and then about 9 o'clock, everybody's asleep, and it's the hobbyist miner time. And I try to record 2 videos on the weekends so that I kick off my week ahead of the game because I upload 5 days a week, every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. And this weekend I was away with the family. So now it's like, well, oh crap. Now it's Sunday night at 9:27 p.m. and I don't have a video yet from Monday morning. And but the nice thing is I throw all my ideas in. I use Microsoft To Do. It's like like a checklist type of program, and I have just a list of ongoing. I have it on my phone, wherever, and like I'm driving somewhere. I'm thinking of a video. I'm like, oh, that'd be an awesome video. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the list. So I have a nice pool to pick from, and I try to strategize what to do in the following week. And now I make that super fluid because, as you said, like a card comes in, or all of a sudden I win a New Egg Shuffle, and I'm like, oh, that card's coming in. That would be great content. I need to add that into it. So I do plan that out. So usually I am creating a video every night between 9 p.m. and 11. 11 o'clock is by the time I get that done, a video created, edited, and then 11 p.m. is when I do the thumbnail till about midnight. Then I get everything ready, all your tags.
1 hour for a thumbnail?
100%. 100%. It takes me an hour to do a thumbnail. Not every thumbnail is a beautiful face of Red Fox Crypto.
That's right. Perks of showing your face.
That's right. So yeah. And then I'd say I try to wrap up by 1 a.m. I have it scheduled for 9. And but that's more the content creation side. I would say more of like the crypto miner side. I'm constantly looking for deals out there for cards I can get. Now, I do operate a lot within the 4 gig realm, but I've slowly been expanding onto that. I mean, I have, I got 12 RX 470s. Half of them aren't even mining right now because my grow tent can't handle it. Real world problems here, folks. I know. And but outside of that, I'm always looking for deals. I'm always looking for ideas. I watch as much other crypto content as possible as a miner to learn. Also to get ideas from, but also one of those little tidbits that like I didn't mention to people is like every morning when I get up and come downstairs to drink my coffee, I kind of like look over my land, look over my rigs, and a brick. Imagine me standing in the doorway drinking my coffee, looking at my
shirt
rigs.
On in your boxers, scratching yourself.
Right. That's right. But I do a check, like I do a once over eye check to make sure like all the fans are spinning. I'm not seeing anything questionable there. I use the GPU hanger, so to make sure like a hanger isn't cracked or isn't bowed. And then checking temps too, just checking temps of the room,
Yeah.
check your humidity. So I do, that's some of the stuff I do every single day in the morning when I start my morning, just to make sure that like, hey, there isn't going to be a huge problem here. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how things are. You run through some of those dry spells as you had spoke of regarding ideas. And I think that's when like the creativity comes out. Yeah, that's the normal day to day, I'd say.
I'd say like the worst thing that happens, I'm sure you would agree, is when something unexpected occurs and like maybe you're getting ready for work in the morning, or you get, you're wrapping up work, or I get home at the evening and like I have a plan, and then all of a sudden I notice like a rig's offline.
Oh, I know, right?
Like, no. Is this going to be a 5-minute, or is this going to be like a 2-hour?
Yep.
Yep. And there's been like nights that I come home and I'm like, I'm going to do a video. It's going to be great. This is my idea and everything. Mm-hmm. And then I go down there and something happened and one of my rigs is off. Oh. And I had this happen with, I don't even know what it is still to this day. It's fixed, but I must have had a bad Ethernet cable on my switch or something where it would like overload the switch and take half the rigs offline.
Do you have a B250?
No, I don't.
Oh,
it's all
okay.
Yeah. And so I was just like, and so I would get it back. I would restart the switch, get it back up and going. Next day, come home, it's like offline again. I think I took that cable out of rotation just by trying different things, but it was like burning hours. Like, what could this be? Why are half the rigs off, but the other ones are fine? They're all connected to the same switch. It doesn't make any sense. Everything's lighting up. This is crazy, and just burning hours and hours anytime something like that happened. Just like tonight, that 3070 not working. There's an hour of my time trying to figure that out. So that is just part of being a crypto miner. I don't know how those places do it that have thousands of GPUs. They have a rig or a worker go offline. They go down aisles of racks, find the one it is. Swap out risers, swap out GPUs, man. It's a lot of work. It just scales up the bigger you get.
Yeah, I know. When I was talking, I did a Meet Your Miner with Not Your Normal Miner.
Yes.
And that's like a tongue twister there. And chatting with him about it, they have staff on full time, and they actually run their own proprietary OS with a lot of different monitoring and stuff like that. So he didn't go into any of the details, which I can understand, but he says, yeah, it's a full-time job. It's 3 guys' full-time jobs to literally troubleshoot rigs.
Yeah.
Like, all you're doing every day is you come in, you run a report, it shows you some details, you walk out, and I can't imagine on that scale that you're spot checking anything, that it's all alerts and notifications. Like, this card's getting too hot. And in that case, he was saying like they go out, they know the rig number, they go out to it, they pull the rig, they pull the card, they replace the card, and they put that card in a pile to get worked on when like things are a little quieter. And it was like, dang, it was like, okay. So yeah, it's just very interesting at that scale. Like, things are treated in a business sense versus you and I. It's more like that hobby personal style where it's like, you're kind of keeping an eye on things, all that types of stuff, where they are totally deep diving.
Yeah. And I'll say like, by the way, side note, this is the weirdest thing, but so I have my 5700s and the 5700 XTs in the grow tent on the bottom. Let me pull up I did have a picture. Let me pull it up. And talking about like spending your time wisely because you don't have a lot of it. I'm starting to not love that rig because it like, for something to give me problems, it's just like, I don't want to deal with it. I'll just get rid of them. And that's the rig that gives me the most problems. So here they are at the bottom of the tent, and they got the nice airflow coming right in, and there's 7 cards there. Okay. They'll probably restart every couple of days at this point, just GPU like dead, and it'll reboot and just mine. So I'm like, whatever. The weirdest thing, and the GPU temps are not bad. Like, I think the hottest is 92 on the memory. Okay. All the rest are in the 80s. So for those cards, like, I'll take it. It's not bad. But so where this is crazy is, and I said this in that video that I did of the tours, when I open the grow tent, when I open the flap, the rig will restart. Like, GPU dies. What? As soon as I open the tent, a GPU will die and the rig will restart every single time.
It, like, can't handle the temperature fluctuation or something?
Like, I don't know. Like, it's getting cooler air. They'll run cooler with the flap open.
Yeah.
But as soon as I open it, like, I got to take a video of it. Like, clockwork, GPU dead, any one of them, pick one, it'll go dead. I'll get the alert on Hive.
It's just that rig?
And it'll restart. And it's just that rig. And I'm just like, what is happening here? I don't even understand. But it's just like little things like that. Like if I have some cards that are giving me some issues, it's just, all right, should I just sell these things? Like, is it worth the time? Because my time and your time is so limited, not only in the mining sense, but also in the content creation sense. So I was just thinking of that, because when I put, you can see actually, so this is what I did today. I got on the bottom.
I can't see it, but explain it. Or actually, here, I'll just bring up your stream. Better, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Red Fox Crypto. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's me.
Woo!
There it is. Yeah, you just pause that probably.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So on the bottom are
looks beautiful. By the way.
Thank you very much. These are this is a 3090 and 3080s. This is what I was working on. These are 3060 Ti's up here. This is a mix of Ti's and 1660 Supers, and this is my 3070 Ti at the top. But you can see, man, I'm getting out of room too.
Yeah,
running out of space on there. And then this is that AMD rig on the bottom right.
Man, after my heart.
That gives me those problems. That's the only AMD. Well, besides the 6600 XTs, which I don't have up in here yet. These are the only AMD cards I have. And then this is my 12 by 3070 rig on top. But I'm also kind of worried about temperatures coming up, because I just added some 3080s and a 3090 in there, man. They're going to put out some heat. And I mean, me and you've been talking about grow tents quite a bit recently.
I have a love-hate relationship with grow tents. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm like, am I really outgrowing my second tent already? Is like that where I'm at? Because I don't think I can stack another
you're not running two tents though, right?
No, just one. But I still have my old one, which I think is the same one that you have now, that gray one. Yeah. So I'm like, do I set up the second one? Do I get a bigger one?
You have to remember too, though, is like you don't want to stack these things completely full, because you want some air circulation.
Yeah, exactly.
So like that's the challenge. It's like if you had two tents, it's almost like you put a tower in each one and put them right in the middle of the tent. I mean, I understand the challenges there, because you're running two 8-inch exhaust fans.
Yeah, on the top you can see the ductwork coming in. Yeah, those are two 8-inch that suck out. There's that switch that was giving me problems on the left.
Yeah,
but yeah,
the reason I'd asked it is I have a B250 mining motherboard, and go back like 6 months ago, that thing actually would do you know what a network loopback is? Yeah. It would cause a network loopback on my entire home network. And literally I'd walk up to that rig, unplug the rig, just an Ethernet cable, and my pings would start like from like my home PCs and stuff like that. And then I'd plug it back in, it would kill it again. So you'd have to reboot it. And I tried everything under the sun to get rid of it. Now, honest, knock on wood now, it has not happened in months. And it was like, wait, what? It was crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I brought that up on the B250. But yeah, man, that looks awesome. One question I have for you. Yeah. You look like you have some extremely long PCI cables on the right-hand side there, bottom right, and on the bottom left. Like those are insanely long. Yeah. Those don't look normal length. Like, are those like extra big?
Yeah, that's the technical term, extra big.
Extra big. Extra large.
They're the default ones you get. Did you ever buy anything from Parallel Miner? Have you bought from there?
I haven't bought anything from Parallel Miner yet, but those look significantly larger than your typical ones.
Yeah, that's what you can. If you just by default buy server power supplies or breakout boards from there, that's what they send you. And then I think they even have longer ones that you can get, which was great because those had to reach all the way from the top rack all the way down to the bottom for the server PSUs. So that worked out perfect.
Yeah, so I have in front of me right now like the standard ones that you would
that's buy.
Tiny. Yeah, I know that's what she said. And then these are ones that a friend of mine gave me, and I think this is what maybe you have. Is like, I mean, you might even have longer than this. Now these are only 6-pin to 6-pin, but like I'm looking at what you're using right now, and I'm like, holy cow, like those are really long. So I'm very intrigued. I actually looked at like the possibility of trying to make my own PCI cables.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to be able to do like custom length stuff, because the worst thing, like my OCD goes nuts when I like have to go ahead and build a rig, and then I'm like, oh my God, that PCI cable is 10 times the length I need to go from like here to here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are, I'm looking on their site right now. Those are 24-inch that you get by default. I think they even have longer ones that you can get.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look at that, because I do the metal racks,
Yep.
hanging GPUs, and so some of I actually do like an HP server power supply almost on every single rack, just to make it easily accessible for power for the GPUs. So that is awesome though. This looks good though. This looks great.
Thanks, dude. It's been a lot of work. The thing that I really like about it too is it may seem like there's a lot of dead space because I'm stacking frames.
Yeah.
But it actually, I think it works out nice to get a lot of air moving through the cards and stuff where they're not so densely packed in. But
okay.
The one other thing I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that is one thing to keep in mind, where like, as I'm looking at this, where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like that's a lot of density and a lot of pockets of heat.
Yeah.
What you may want to do, what I did is, Goovy is the name of like the little digital thermostats. They're really cheap. You can buy a handful of them, and I'd almost consider putting one of those on each rig and seeing where your heat pockets are in there.
Yeah, you know what? One of the guys hasn't done it yet, but one of the guys I was chatting with in my Discord a couple months ago, his business has rack mounted, because I have a rack in my basement too with all my networking. They have a rack mounted temperature thing where you plug in a probe. It can take multiple probes, and then you run that wire into wherever you want to measure temperature to. And he was like, we're going to be getting rid of these. Would you be interested? You can run this from your rack and run probes into your tent and just get that data anytime you're on your network. You can just go to, the website and look up the temperatures of anything that you want inside your tent where you run these probes. And I was like, man, I didn't even know that existed, first of all. And yes, that sounds awesome.
So I was looking at this no, those are splitters. Dang, I don't want that. I was trying to look at the PCI cables that I bought in the past, to see what the length of those were, because it's still bothering me. Oh my word!
I'm just gonna buy them right now and ship them to you on stream.
Don't do that. All right, hang on here.
Here we go. They have 36-inch too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, these are. What is the length of these? 18 gauge. Come on, why don't you say the length of these? Got them off Amazon. Good old Amazon. Length 50 centimeters. What the heck is that conversion?
Oh.
Gosh. Centimeters to. Oh, I know. Who does that? All right. These are Really? These are 19? Okay. So they're 19 inches actually. So that's not as small as what I expected. You said those are 24 that you buy?
Yeah. Those are the 24-inch ones that come with it by default.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then like I use you think you've used the same splitters in the past, the deep in the mines, the orange and black ones.
Yes,
so that adds a little extra length too.
Yeah, I have those. I have a whole bunch of those, and then because I've been partnered with GPU Risers, they've actually sent me theirs.
I just got theirs too. Yeah, they just sent me the white ones, and then I got these like black ones too that they sent. That's what I used actually. They're in one of these rigs down here. I use them.
Yeah, the white ones from GPUrisers.com. Now, this isn't just because I'm sponsored with them, but they are super stiff, and I think that's only because of the outside like coating they put on it that they wrap it in, that like the braided wrapping. But that's really nice. Like, it's really nice to have that. Now, granted, Deep in Minds is awesome. Like, those have worked great for me in the past. I still have several of those. I recommend those to people as well. I think they work really, really well. Too, and those also, I'll admit, I've used them to extend my PCI cable sometimes, just because I'm like, oh, I need more length. It's terrible.
Dude, I'm on the GPU Risers website. They have the white ones going into a white Strix. That's like, you can't get better than that, man.
You must be hanging out with Chump Change. I know,
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, so they sent you. Okay, so I
got those. And they sent me the white ones too.
Oh, I don't have the white ones. I have to give them a hard time. That's cool though. That's cool
Yeah,
though.
man.
I'm happy to hear that. So why don't we take some questions from chat?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I will let you go first. In the we'll just put this out to both of our chats. Post your questions now, and we'll just go back and forth and pick a few, and we'll kind of try to go through them as fast as we can to hammer a few out. So you can go first. I've instructed my chat to post them too.
Yeah, let me see. I think I got some from my Discord earlier, so let me check what's in there. And I think Mrs. Red Fox was sending me some. But yeah,
Whoa!
guys, just tag me in my chat at Red Fox Crypto and tag Hobbyist in his chat so they can come up real nice for us to see any questions that you got. So let me see. Let me get one here.
Awesome. Sounds good. Put my cables away.
I actually don't know the answers to this, and this is probably going to inform a future video, but Sojourn in my Discord asks, what's the best light hash rate card to buy? The version 2 3060, 3060 Ti, 3070, etc., etc., etc. I don't know. My gut says not the 3070 or 3080 Ti's, but I think I remember watching Seb's FinTech, his video, the LHR 3070 still seemed pretty good. And what you just got a 3060 Ti?
I got a 3060 Ti. Yeah, so I assume it's LHR. I actually haven't even looked. I assume it is right there. There we go, right on the outside of the box. I'll throw it up on the camera real quick there. You can see it right in the corner. But I honestly assume anything since like June, May is like an LHR card. Like I just naturally go right to LHR. Yeah, I mean, it's really a good video is to, and this is just a video idea, not something that I could do at this point because I like to have the cards in hand versus theorize. But looking at so you have to look at the price of the card. And then as you and I really like to look at is like our break even day. You and I come from the same mindset of has to be under a year. Yeah. And then looking at what your profitability is per day. So I think you really have to keep those in mind and break that out to determine that. Determine what your break even is, and then what your profit is going to be every day after that moving forward. I do think the 3060 Ti is one of the better, more efficient ones because your break even. Like I was just looking at it on my screen here. I was looking now. Granted, the hard part is like I don't think this gets 58.1 hash rate on Ethereum. I think that's like non-LHR.
Yeah.
That's
non-LHR will do like 61, 62. And what's mine's always like conservative and
yes.
Stuff.
Do you know what the LHR one gets or no? Not off the top of your head.
On Ethereum, it'll be half that. So it'll be like 30, 32. And then I think you get up to 70% now. So maybe around like a little over 40.
Okay. So we'll put 41 there. Yeah. So when you start to look at that, Ergo is like at the top there.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at.
It's putting out like 3.76, $3.75 a day, which is really, really good. This I got for $6.59, so it's 175 days break even.
Yeah, man, it's still so good. In my opinion.
100%. Oh yeah, I mean it's really interesting because like I don't want to go too much because we have a lot of questions, but a lot of people I am finding more and more people, like especially in my Discord, are cashing out weekly because they need the money. So they're jumping into mining and they're like, I need to cash out weekly because I need the funds type of deal. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not in your situation.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What question you got?
All right. This one is from Michael. He says, I have a grow tent, but it gets insanely hot in there. 19 GPUs in there. Try to increase the exhaust to help with this problem. So I'm going to throw this to you because I feel like I am like God's guinea pig when it comes down to airflow.
Yes, exhaust. You need it. That's 100%. You want that. My tent just is so bowed in from the negative air pressure.
So you're sucking out more than the pulling in.
Yeah, 100%. So what I did is got one fan is just it's not variable, so it just runs full tilt all the time. And then when I got the second one, I was like, let me get a variable one so I can kind of dial in the air pressure, the negative air pressure, the exhausts, which long story short, I wound up just running both of them on full blast just to get as much exhaust as I possibly can out of there. And then what you do, once you got so much exhaust, then you can really start messing with how much air do you want to let in to your tent to really get to a place where you have negative air pressure. It's just what you need. So yeah, if you're like, man, should I add a second fan? Will it help? It will. And maybe just get the biggest size you can and get a variable one so you can dial it down if you need to, instead of going to a smaller fan and then wishing or having to exchange that to get a larger one. So that's my opinion on it. All exhaust.
Yeah, I mean, one of the challenges for me is I always underestimate airflow, and like I feel like I'm like the laughing stock of the content creators right now. But like my mining room was a great example. Like that was a mess. It's good now because I finally decided like I need to use my internal AC as my intake, and for the amount of airflow I need for an entire room like that. But especially like that. But for my grow tent, yes. So to give people an idea, I did a boatload of testing after it just failed miserably. And what I found was like Raven coin's out of the question in my grow tent right now in the current state. I'm mining Ergo in it. I'm mining 6 RX 470s. And those have been going great for like a week or two now. My tent's usually between 89 and 96 based off the time of the day. And the passive intake's working great. I have a 6-inch inline fan in there, but that's not great for long term. You know what I mean? Like I need to. So I've been talking with Vivio's son. So I have an 8-inch coming, which people are telling me the difference between a 6-inch and an 8-inch is insane.
Yeah,
it is absolutely insane.
100%. 100%.
So,
because I'm sorry to cut you off, but what I did is when I was adding the second exhaust, I bought a 6-inch, thinking I only had another 6-inch hole.
Yep.
And then it was so bad compared to when I eventually got the second 8-inch. It's such a difference between the two. So yeah, doing the right thing, man. Doing the right thing.
So I'm gonna do that, the 8-inch, because the top of the tent I have is the only one that's only spot that's 8-inch. All the rest of those are 6-inch holes. So I'm gonna do an 8-inch exhaust, and then I'm already set up to do a second intake. I already have a second filter set up, and I know I have this insane filter setup. So I'm gonna move it outside the tent. I'm gonna do that, make some room. So, anyways, I'm gonna double my intake, so 2 6-inch intakes, and I'm gonna use the 8-inch exhaust and see if I can get 12 GPUs running. The downside is like grow tents are nuts. Like it's just they are super helpful to keep the heat in. I am trying to get away with a grow tent without using my inside system, like my AC as my intake, only because I'm doing it. I have my entire mining room doing that. Like my mining room is pretty much a grow tent. Let's be honest here. It's a grow tent. And so I have 3 6-inch exhausts running full time in that mining room. There's no door. So the air is just coming through AC in my basement. It's sucking. It's going out my cards. Now, the nice thing is in my mining room, I literally have my exhaust above my racks. So it's just sucking that air up. But like that room right now is a nice, comfortably 87 degrees. Which is nice. So yeah, grow tents are God's gift to the world, but they also suck at the same time.
Literally. Yeah, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for fall and winter. I'm sure like you and
it'll be my first. I'm a newbie.
It's so nice. I just leave my tent open and then I put it right into my heating ducts, and I just take all of that beautiful heat and I just put it right back in my house. And that's it. And that's
on my plan. That's on my plan.
That's probably when I'll switch everything over to Ravencoin.
And it'll be good timing too with January.
Yeah. Yo, Chum Change, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you being
I know.
here, man.
He's trying to super chat to me too. What's wrong with him?
I don't know. He's got brain damage or something, but I love him anyway. And then I got another super chat question was, have you ever tried a LHR running 2 instances at the same time with T-Rex on Ethereum? And I have tried that. I tried that with my 3070 Ti's, I think, and it doesn't work. Long story short, it doesn't work. I tried too. Somebody posted on Reddit or something that you could kind of dual mine Ethereum, which is a memory hard algorithm, and then
Yep.
pick I think it was Firo MTP, which is like a core heavy algorithm, and dual mine those, and not have too much of a hit on either side. But I still had a hit enough where it wasn't worth it. So
Yeah.
good thoughts though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then somebody said too, can't wait for September when they go off the seasonal rates of their electric bill. I also can't wait for that.
I actually just swapped too, and I need to wait to see how this goes. And it's not a scam. I read into it a ton. In PA, and I don't know if they have it in Jersey, the PA power switch, and PA power switch allows you to shop your electricity. The last part of it, and one of the there's two options now for it, for unlimited electricity. I haven't seen these before. They just started showing up as an option. So they have you send your electric bill, your last month's electric bill to them, and they come back to you with a contract rate. So I sent mine to them because that part of the electric bill that I could shop was $270 last month. Just that part of the electric bill. I sent it to them. They got back to me a few days later, and they gave me a rate of $69 a month for unlimited electric for the next 12 months.
Sounds like a scam.
I know, right?
Dude,
so I'm waiting, dude. And they push that all of their energy is renewable energy, that they use wind energy. And so I'm trying it out. I signed up. My next bill comes early next month here, and we're gonna see what we're at. But I mean, if that line literally goes from 270 to 69.99, you know, my butt's gonna be making a video on that because that is amazing, amazing.
Hell yeah. I hope it works out. That's awesome.
I hope it works out too, because I'll be very concerned if it doesn't. Okay, cool.
What else you got? You got one?
Yeah. Let me look here and see. Just kind of finding some here. Do you always use the latest version of HiveOS or whatever works? So I will say HiveOS has been very odd, I'd say, over the last few months, where like I feel like they're not testing their operating system rollouts, because like I was just talking about it before this. I just updated the OS on this one rig, and now it didn't come back up. The last thing I did was update it, and I've had this issue before. So I'd say more recently I'm seeing HiveOS, like I know Chump Change lives by this. I know he's watching one of our streams at a time. That man just doesn't update HiveOS.
Really?
because he feels every time they update it like it breaks something. And he's not wrong. But the downside is, in a lot of these updates, like the miners are making big improvements. Like there was an update for the 2000 series, and I'm running a 2060 in one of my rigs, and I was like, "Ooh, this will be perfect! Like, can't wait."
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you know, I update the rig and it has a problem, and I'm like, "Come on!" So I got to roll back HiveOS, and it's just one of those like, So that's at least my experience with HiveOS. I am getting to the point where I will update it and try to keep it up to date, but the second I have an issue, I just roll it back. I don't know. Do you run many? You don't run many of your rigs at HiveOS, do you?
Just the AMD one. So it's pretty much, unless I have to update the kernel to get like the 6600s working, I'll update that. Or if there's a minor update that is going to bring, you know, more hash rate or stability or something. Otherwise, I'll like check when there's an update, see what it is, and if it's nothing that I care about, I just let it sit there.
Okay.
And that's it. So
okay.
Yeah, man.
What else you got over there?
Let's see. This is a one that came in Discord. Is we're gonna have very different opinions on this, so we can get going on it.
Can't wait.
Buying my first mining rig. What cards should I consider? I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I think most of us content creators have a video on this, but it really comes down to your budget and your situation. So like, how much money do you have to invest, and can you afford to lose it all? If you can't, then don't do any mining at all. Like, do not invest in mining if you can't afford to lose everything. That being said, I'll take my opinion from the doesn't have much money and just wants to get into mining. I always recommend people start out with the 4 gig cards. I love the 4 gig cards. They're in my realm. They're kind of my bread and butter. I stick in my corner. I stay safe from all these big big wigs out there with the 3000 series cards, but I feel like the 4 gig cards are a good avenue to go to get your feet wet. They're inexpensive to a degree that you can find them out there on secondhand sites. It's a good avenue to go. You kind of learn the ropes, you learn your profitability, your kind of return on your investment, or should I say return on investment? It's a bad word. Your break even. And it kind of helps you from there. Then, and that's what I did. I started out with the 4 gig cards for months, and I'm slowly really only buying 8 gig cards and slowly graduating to bigger ones. So yes, that is my recommendation. What is your recommendation?
Nothing that you buy. So if hobbyist miner's interested in it, just don't buy that card. Just get a different card and you're going to be okay.
Nice.
No, I think right now, if you want to feel the shiny new card, I think 6600 XT is pretty nice. And you'll have to learn AMD overclocking, and then you'll really decide if mining is for you, because it's a little bit of a pain compared to NVIDIA. But I think just like if you want that shiny brand new card, that's a nice way to go, especially if maybe you want to do some 1080p gaming or something on it. I'm really enjoying them so far, and I think that there's probably more to the story of those GPUs that we'll find out in the future. And they're like, you can get them for like $400, which isn't the worst. Other than that, if you're really cost effective, then I guess the oldest I would say probably maybe 580 8 gigs, 470 8 gigs. Be like the oldest. What are those? Like probably a couple $100 still.
I've been getting my 580s for 300.
Yeah, God, it's brutal.
And I mean, I'm a huge fanboy of the XFX series. They work well. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because
I just got my first XFX card. That's my second 6600 XT. I just unboxed it earlier tonight. It looks nice. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I find I don't know. There's different qualities of cards out there, and I've just always had good luck with the XFXs. Those have done well for me, and they feel more solid, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so
hold on.
Go ahead.
I have just a question.
Sure.
And our chats can answer this too. What is your favorite overall brand of GPU? Gigabyte, XFX, Sapphire. What is your overall favorite?
Or
top 3 if you had to.
Okay. Well, Gigabyte's garbage. So please stay away from those. I have plenty of those. Stay away from those. I know Chump Change is a big fanboy, but stay away from those. They're garbage. I just have so many issues with those. I try to stay away from Zotacs, even though I have one right next to me, because their overclocking is terrible in the 1000 series. All right, getting back to the question, I'm going to say Sapphire Nitros. The Sapphire Nitros are my favorite all-time cards. They are just workhorses. Like, they do their job. They're phenomenal, and they don't argue. I don't have problems with them. What about you?
I agree with the chat here, which is EVGA. Definitely, especially the For the Win cards. Man, they are just... I'm looking at my 3070 Ti For the Win 3 in my PC right now, just all rainbow.
Okay.
So nice. And then that, I would say underneath that is probably the Asus. Which was not something I would have said until I was able to get some of those Strix in, which are top tier cards. And then on we'll pick one on the AMD side. I'll have to agree, the Sapphire Nitros. I don't have any, but I really regret not getting some of the Sapphire Nitro 5700 XTs, because the memory temps on those were so cool. And even the 580s, the Sapphire Nitros are just like beautiful.
Oh, they work awesome.
Man. Oh, I
have a Sapphire Pulse 580.
Yeah.
And those work great. I will say the MSI, so like I try to stay away from MSI and I try to stay away from Asus, but I have gotten my hands, and I've been selling my 1080s because their hash rate to wattage ratio is just terrible. The 580s or the 1080s just use so much. And I've been buying up 1660 Ti's, the MSI ones. And man, those are amazing. Like those work so well. I'm so happy with those cards. So right now I'm up to 4 of them, and
Nice.
they've worked very well. So I'm slowly selling cards after I've used them for a little while, and purchasing new cards.
If you sell the card that I gave you, we're gonna have a problem, by the way.
It's right here. It's right here in front of me. I'm looking at it. The 1070 Ti. It's doing work, you know? Yep. I had it doing flux the other day.
Nice. That GPU has mined Flux for a long time.
Yes.
That's
yes, very
awesome.
much so. All right. What I was
ahead.
going to say was, why don't we wrap up with a question
Yeah.
or two here for the night? This man still has to make a video tomorrow.
Yeah.
What was that? Was that last question yours?
Yeah. Why don't you
I
do
think
one?
it was. So this one was a good one, and you did a whole video on this. But thoughts on the 6600 XT? So I'll go first since you've got a whole video on it. I
Yeah.
don't own one, but everything I've seen is the 6600 XT is like the new version of the 1660 Ti or the 1660 Super. Like,
Yeah.
it is a low 30s hash rate Ethereum card that has phenomenal wattage. So when you're looking at efficiencies between hash rate and watts, this card is like the new technology for that. And somebody might go, well, why spend the money on the 6600 versus the 1660? Well, your card, the 6600 XT, is now that new technology. Like, it's the latest and greatest. And so it'll carry a lot farther, especially when you're looking at some other algorithms. So for me, if I could afford it, I'd buy the 6600 XT or get my hands on it, should I say? Because I think those cards are phenomenal. What about you? If you could recap your video on that card?
I really, really like it. And in that video, I got it 32 mega hash at 72 watts at the wall. And actually, some really smart people commented, and I got to figure out how to test this, that since I'm only running that, if you haven't seen the video, the way I set it up is I'm just measuring. I have that GPU powered just by its power supply, and then one power supply, and the motherboard and everything powered by another power supply.
Yep.
And I'm taking the wattage reading off of the power supply that only has the GPU and its riser on it, and that was giving me the 72 watts. And I actually got that idea from HashRaptor on YouTube. He's
Good
done
idea.
that. And what people commented is that it's probably not the most accurate reading because that power supply is running really inefficient at such low wattage, because the like scale of efficiency on power supplies might be, they're most efficient when they're at 80% load, just for example. So if I'm running it really low load, it's probably not that efficient, and it might be throwing off my readings. So I was like, I don't really know how else to test it. What I think I'm going to do next is take a server power supply that's, platinum, and see if I get the same or different reading, just running it the same.
Okay.
And then after that, maybe look into getting some Bitsby Trippin has like an inline system that will, PCIe will go to his meter, and then the out will go, to the GPU or whatever. So he can get an inline reading of the power it's actually taking, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But, yeah, anyway, overall thoughts on that card. I think it's awesome. I really enjoy it. I guess the con is like density, kind of like the 1660 Ti's and Supers. You're going to take a lot of them to get the hash rate, but it's just, when I opened it, I was like, man, it's nice to have just like a small card that can like do some work and be pretty efficient compared to like these monster GPUs all the time, and it's just like nice to be able to use I just use a single 8-pin split to do the riser and the graphics card, and like wiring it up is super easy. You don't have to like really like play any games trying to figure out how to power these things. So I really like it so far. But I think what I'm going to do next, I got to test it on Ravencoin and see how it stacks up, and then just do like an overall versus the 1660s and see how they stack up next to each other, because they're coming in pretty much at the same price points nowadays, I think.
Yeah. All right, one last question from your chat.
Sure. I got and I was actually curious. I don't think me and you have ever talked about this before. CPU mining.
Okay.
So have you ever done CPU mining? And the question was, any recommendations for CPU mining or projects to mine? Yeah. But have you ever done it? What CPU do you have in your main PC that I'm looking at right now?
So I did do CPU mining, but this was about 5 years ago on a website called MinerGate. Do you remember that website, or you were around then?
No, not ringing a bell.
So there was a website called MinerGate, and it's very much garbage. And it was on Windows, and it ran only on CPUs. And 5 years ago, I got my hands on a bunch of HP towers. I had about 20 of them in my basement, all running. And you installed MinerGate on there, this software for Windows software, and it would work with the website to pick the best algorithm to mine, and it would mine it off of your CPU. So I was running all like i3 processors then on everything. And so I completely forgot, like I sold the PCs. It wasn't really doing much for me. But I had put aside, I mean, 5 years ago, I had Ethereum in the wallet. Like it would auto add to like in their wallet. So I'd had Ethereum Classic. What else was in there? There's a handful of a bunch of different ones. Some coins that are long dead, but I did that for a while. And that was 5 years ago. It was totally different. The current rig that I have on this computer, this is a Ryzen 9 3900X 12 core. So she's got some beef to her. I don't do any mining on this setup at all. I considered CPU mining? Not really. I have a fascination with the GPU mining side of things. I mean, if the GPU market got even crazier out of control, maybe I considered it, but as of right now, I have not. What about you?
So I'll say the thing that I think there's two coins that I think are worth it. One is Monero. That's what I have a 3900X in here as well. And when I got it, part of influencing me to get that exact processor was to mine Monero as well. Yep. And so I haven't mined on it in probably 6 months, maybe 3 months. But it's mined to Monero since I bought it, which was a little after its release. So I mean, what is Monero even worth right now? I don't even know, but it's paid itself off and then some.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I mean, Monero was like the main one that I was mining on those kind of i3, HP towers years ago.
Yeah, and then I've mined Veriscoin, which is still a project that's around that's really good. That's CPU mineable. And then just like I did some other garbage coins that aren't around anymore on CPUs. But if I was going to mine anything, those would be the two. Monero would be one, which is almost $300 right now, which is crazy. And then Veriscoin is the other one. I don't think Coin360 has it, but Veriscoin is the other one that has been around a while and has some pretty decent names on it as far as development and stuff, people that have been involved in other things outside cryptocurrency. And that's currently worth $1. But yeah, those are both CPU mineable. And I guess my mentality is if like the reason I didn't run it anymore is because I had some of those GPU buying bots running on here. I didn't want to impact their performance.
Yeah, I hate to mess those up.
Yeah, so I turned it off, but I moved those to a server. So I'll probably start mining Monero again because why not? Get everything you can going. But that's my take on it.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Well, cool. Well,
yeah.
I think we'll wrap things up there. We're a little over an hour now, which I think is awesome. So what can people expect coming through your channel coming up here soon? Anything you want to mention now?
I'm gonna do a 6600 XTs on Raven and Ergo, and then size them up next to the Supers and TIs for the 1600 series. And then I was gonna do it today, but I ran out of time. I'm gonna do a how loud is a server power supply. I think I mentioned that before. I'm gonna do a how loud is a server power supply, and my thought is I'm gonna use an app to read the decibels and just start putting more and more load on it. Yeah. And just kind of relate that to something in the real world, because the amount of questions that come in, I'm like, can I put this in my bedroom? I think that'll be a nice video for people to reference and see if it's something I want to invest in. And then I'll figure out some talking head video for the end of the week because those seem to do well. But that's what I got. I think that's the 3 videos I want to do.
Doesn't the heat play a factor in the server power supplies too? Like how warm the ambient temperature is that it's in determines how loud it gets?
I don't know. It must, but they're pretty on. And then I want to do 2 because they run more efficient on 240 versus 120 volt. So I might do some real nerd out stuff on there. and put it on
Yeah.
on well, 110, which you might have at your house in your bedroom, or you might put it on 240, and just kind of see and size up how loud those things get.
Yeah, I think that's a great avenue to go. I get a lot of questions on that, so I think that is a good idea. I like that idea of kind of like looking at that. I mean, the hard part is like people are like, "Oh, it is X decibels." And it's like, "Okay, well, give me something." What's the one YouTube channel? Is it Life of a Crypto Miner or something
Life of
like
a
that?
Miner.
Yeah, Life of a Miner, and he does that a lot when he does his videos, with the decibels and outside the room and inside the room. And I really like that. It's a great idea, and he compares it to like this is, outside in a city and stuff like that, like all those type of things. I think it's a great idea. I like, if you guys haven't checked him out, check out his videos. He's got some cool stuff out there.
Yeah, he's been around for longer than both of us too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And he does his on like an apartment, and just like I saw more recently, like sealed off a room and stuff like that. I was like, oh man, this guy's awesome. So on my side of things, I am hoping to have a updated grow tent video by the end of the week. I'm waiting for the additional exhaust to come in. So that'll be fun. I told my wife, I'm like, yeah, the window in our basement, I'm removing the glass. So right now the AC is on the bottom and the intake exhaust is on the top, and the window could come out like if I need to, like you can fold it down and pop it out. So I'm gonna pop that out and do straight plywood all the way down to that AC unit.
Yeah.
And I told her that earlier, and she's like, "Oh," I'm like, "It can go back in, and the grow tent's only temporary." So she's like, "Okay." And so I'll have a lot of work coming down the pipeline for the grow tent. So I'm hoping to do that by the end of the week if everything comes in. I do want to do a crypto mining basement update, just kind of where I stand on the things. Last I kind of stood. It's been a while since I've done a video on the basement, going over some things, especially the mining room, on what I found worked. I got the 3060 Ti we were talking about. I'm going to do a video on that, and I want to do kind of a recap video coming up this week on my 580 rig, just kind of giving people an overall idea of, okay, so this is a 6 GPU 580 rig. Let's talk profitability. Let's talk electricity, hash rate, all that types of stuff. A lot of times we see a lot of content creators out there like, here's a 580, here's what it does individually. But I like the idea of presenting here's a 6 GPU mining rig. Here's kind of the stats on it. And then I do want to do early next week a video on what you do. I do my own style of it, is just kind of a monthly video of where we stand. Here's how many rigs. Here's how many rigs we got. Here's how many GPUs we have. Here's how much electricity costs. Here's what I'm making per month right now. Here's the projected amount I'm going to make per year if everything stays exactly the way it is today. And those videos seem to do really well at kind of showing people how I break that down. And now, especially since I have the Space Goats meters, and actually being able to get true electricity numbers, that's a huge win.
Yeah, man, that's sick. You think Bitcoin's going back over 50K this week or what?
Oh, I hope it does. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't hold any Bitcoin, but I gotta get on the nice hash train of mining to nice hash like you do, converting it to Bitcoin. You do that with your Ergo, is that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So at some point, it should get on that pony. Right now, I got Ergo, no Raven coin right now because it's just too hot still.
Yeah, me too.
It's good. It's good. I can't wait to see what the total hash rate's going to be for Raven coin once it starts to cool off. Like everybody and their brother is going to jump over to Raven coin. Yeah. Anyways, we'll kind of wrap things up there. Yeah. So for people that are on my channel who have listened to you, where can they find your content?
You can find me on YouTube, Red Fox Crypto, and then Twitter, Red Fox Crypto. And that is it. Those are the places. What about you, man? What else you got?
Yeah, so for YouTube, it is The Hobbyist Miner. And for Twitter, it's just Hobbyist Miner because The Hobbyist Miner is too long for Twitter. They didn't like it. So it's just that.
You don't got like an Instagram or something? What are you doing?
I don't use that crap. Instagram. I don't use TikTok. I give my wife so much. I'm like Instagram, the TikTokers out there, and oh man, I know it's the latest and greatest, and there's a lot of there could be some good growth potential there. But I'm like, dude, I don't have time for that.
It's just like another thing.
Oh yeah. It's a cesspool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Well, other than that, that's it for me. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight for the Fox and Gnome show.
Yeah.
And please leave your comments down below if you're checking out the VOD. We would appreciate it. And if you guys on both of our channels, give us a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy this content tonight and you guys want to see more of this. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm immensely.
Yes, absolutely, guys. Hit the like button on your way out. Thanks for being here. Everybody in chat showing up, both of our channels. Really appreciate all the support. You guys are awesome. Hope you have a great week ahead and hope we get some Bitcoin over 50K again. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I think that's it. Peace out. Peace.
Proof of work. Fhash, BTC hash, MTP, octopus, compound, autoecus, Equihash, SHA-2, 56, Megahash, 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 proof of work. Fhash, BTC hash, MTP, octopus, compound, autoecus, Equihash, SHA-2, 56. Proof of work.